played and the games get saved so they can be played on another day. Rob's Arcade.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Rob's Arcade. Let's go ahead upstairs here to the couch for another magical. You know what? Actually, no, we won't go to the couch. Hope everybody is doing all right, enjoying their Monday here. It's August, what, 9th, I think? 11th or something like that, maybe? Yeah, August 11th, sorry. Um, Hanging out here on this Monday, just kind of catching you guys up. Wanted to, you know, share just kind of what's been going on. And I figured, hey, let's go ahead and check out my cool garage here while we're doing that, and maybe take a little drive. I'm trying to think of what car would be the best vehicle to take. I've got some pretty cool ones. It's like I can kind of walk you through what each one I was trying to embody here. That one just came the way it is. This one, I went with like, this is my Ninja Turtles car here, like a little Michelangelo mobile. This is just my let's get the boys together, Team Arrow, my Nightwing mobile, you know, Batman and Robin, and then Robin goes off and becomes Nightwing. That would be like his car. This, I think I want it. I don't know. It's like a little beach cruiser kind of a thing. Same with that little guy over there, just kind of like cool little sport cruiser. This one also is great for the beach because it's got the aqua mode, goes submarine style on everybody. And then of course we got the El Camino. Gotta have the El Camino. If I could go back and get an El Camino, I would definitely go back and get me an El Camino. Let me see. What do we want to take? You know what? Let's take the Nightwing mobile. Hopefully I won't ding this guy up too much. The whole point is going to be trying to get to this location without damaging my car. What is this? Quick farm. And where am I going? How far away is it? Yeah, I feel like let's get off the couch. Let's get out and about. Let's go do something here. Outside the norm. But I don't even know if I see. Haircut, haircut, haircut. Pizza place. Up, there we go. Rob's Arcade. So hopefully, you all have been doing well, enjoying your weekend. We've only got, gosh, a few more days left here of summer break for everybody. And you guys be getting in, enjoying those. Like I said, we've had some really good weather. So hopefully, you guys have been getting out and kind of enjoying those last kind of few summer days here. We've got a chance to see some cool blockbuster movies. Got a chance to go see Superman and the Fantastic Four. Both I highly recommend going to go check out if you haven't already. And I've been playing a ton of the Ori on PlayStation. Been really enjoying that. On top of just doing, my regular video game stuff with you guys. But I've really been loving that game. Totally reminds me of, oh, it's Bumblebee. Totally. Dude, that's just what I said, totally. I wonder if he was actually talking to me just now. That's weird. I just wanted to kind of catch you guys up. It's been a little bit, and been kind of settling into this new position, which I've been enjoying a lot, and kind of actually getting some understanding of what my role is. And I've got a little homework for it that I'm gonna try to knock out actually this afternoon to try to just make sure I'm up on all my P's and my Q's here. What, did I actually make it without fault? That's crazy. I thought for sure I would get a scratch on this bad baby. Love it. Rob's Arcade. Rob's Arcade. Where the games get played and the games get saved so they can be played on another day. Rob's Arcade. Alright, here we go. Oh my gosh. You guys have not cleaned this place up. It's been...
Oh, hey.
Yeah, hey, what's up? It's been like weeks and weeks and weeks since I've been here last, and this place still looks like crap.
Alright, bye.
Yeah, whatever. Hey, look up here, it's trash up here. Oh my gosh, you guys have got to do better. Please. Get this cleaned up. I mean it.
Oh, hey.
Get off your phones.
Later.
Get the broom. Get some paint. Alright, so, here we are, back in my office, kind of doing like a little Rob's Arcade show type of a bit, and I just kind of wanted to hang out with you, kind of, I guess, now in this new role. I was kind of doing like a Spider-Man thing, showing you guys the warehouse, what all that looked like, and my job before, and that aspect. Well, here's my new office. This is my new job. And I think it kind of fits to what is going on with my new role. And not to say that this department that I'm working in now looks anything like this and is this kind of like disarray and, at all. It's actually a really decent department that I'm working in. And I actually feel more confident working in the department that I'm working in now as opposed to the department that I was working in before. It just seems better organized. Um, Already some of the support that I'm getting from some of the individuals seems like I said, I got like some files very much like it's incredible on my desk, just like this desk behind me here, with some cool just information that I'm going to review and kind of go over and just check and see like where do I need some help, where do I need some strengths, because I want to make sure that I get the department that I'm in now like up and running and just doing the best that I can and to support my staff. Even though look at them down there, just a bunch of bozos sitting there on their phones and their laptops. Now I tell you what, the people that I work for actually they're really great people. I'm really fortunate to have the staff not only that supports me and helps me, but that's like in other departments there to help support, and I don't, it's just really great. I'm really fortunate. But the role I was in before with the teens and stuff, like I said, it's kind of changed up. And if you have been following my channel and um, are familiar with what I've been talking about, I don't have to go back into too much detail, but I definitely recommend if this is like your, first time offender here on my channel, go back, watch some of my other videos as I kind of explain what's been going on with my job and the roles and how all that looks. And, they changed up how the youth and teen department was kind of being handled. And so that kind of changed up my role. And now I'm more of, I don't know, like overseeing a whole other department now, and they had put a few individuals in charge of different branches, kind of being like a regional overseeing the youth department, and we had One set up for us. I've met her a few times, and actually, we take a trip on the mountain. She was one of the advisors who joined us on the mountain as well. And I just kept really like, having great vibes, considering that like, she's gonna be my replacement in a sense. And was just telling all the teens that I work with and stuff like, hey, like it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be good, she's gonna be there. She's like, I kept saying, she reminds me of a female me, and just like her attitude, her energy, and all that. So I was, very supportive. It wasn't anything I saw really coming. It was kind of a shock, and like, I kind of had some hopes of working with the teens and the youth for a bit longer. But, I was there, I was supportive. I was like, hey, whatever you need going forward, if you need some help, if you need some guidance, like whatever it is, I'm going to try to be there and support all of this. And I was very, I'm going to say, I don't like to say this, but I was very pessimistic about just the whole outcome, the whole situation. I didn't like how any of it looked. I didn't like how the lay of the land was being presented. Um, and I had a lot of doubts. I had a lot of doubts about how it was just everything about it. I was not comfortable with what I was looking at. And I had a feeling, and this is nothing against the individual who's taking over my role, but just with all the individuals taking over these roles here, that come November, October, like the pressures and the heat and all of that was really going to start to be felt, especially with um, the club at our location, because there's just so much that involves not only the like marathons and things in Richmond that happen around that time, but also like some of the holiday stuff that we do and some of those engagements that we take part in, and it's just a lot. It's just I was expecting to see some bailout and some ripcords being pulled come October, come November, but to my surprise, and this is what kills me, is it's just I guess it shouldn't be a surprise. Um, our regional, who was not only, like I said, overseeing our branch, but a few other branches in our area, has already like bailed out. It's already decided this isn't what they want to do, and last week was actually like their last, like a week ago. I think it was like last Monday. Was officially their last day, and just really just blew my mind. And I think really only Monday, because they had been um, not roped into, I want to say, but already like obligated to do a driving bit for excuse me, for something. So as opposed to just being like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do this or do that, da 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 da. They're like, yeah, I'll stay on till this Monday and drive for you as I stated I would. But it like I said, it kind of came as a shock, just because really I think the timing of it, school's getting ready to start up, which is crazy. I think we got like summer camp just ended, yay, and we got about a week in between the transition, and then the kiddos go back to school, and a lot of our programs for the teens kind of are on hiatus during the summer. And I feel like this would have been the time to say, hey, look, I'm not really feeling this. This isn't exactly what I signed up for. And I think, we should maybe use this time. I was thinking, like, what does this thing do across? I was like, that's right. There's like a secret room, I think. Yeah, cool, man. Secret room. Whoa. What if it's haunted? But yeah, I just feel like this would have been the time to um, find a replacement for that role. There's nothing going on in the summertime. There's nothing really you got to oversee, and it takes a little while to get kind of orientated and onboarded and situated and any kind of other aided that you can think of. And oh, can you play darts down here? Oh, that's awesome. Um, Now they're instead going into this program. I'm just kind of checking all this out down here, and summer's, like I said, over, and now they've got to like figure all this out, and it's just, I don't know, it's upsetting. The individual who stepped out even said themselves that, like, this is something they struggled with. This is cool. I got some dry erase boards and stuff, I guess. A little some make some plans and stuff, I guess. Huh. Crazy. Uh, it's like, as I said, something said. Sorry. It's like I said, something they had struggled with themselves for a little bit, and they weren't quite sure if they were going to, I guess, throw their hat in, or if they were going to stay on board and all of that. Um, and then finally just decided, like, it's just too much and not what I wanted, and they had to kind of look at their own mental well-being, which is one of the things when I was like, kind of doing some of the other videos and trying to show you the vastness of what it looks like to run um, one branch's youth programs. It's a lot. I used the Spider-Man videos in some past Rob's Arcade shows and kind of showed you what it looked like to kind of maintain that through a visual of like these crazy looking warehouses and stuff. And I can't imagine doing that times 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever that might look like. So I can definitely see how it would be like overwhelming and a lot to be on one's plate. But again, I think just what bothers me the most is here we are, we're going into the programming, and there's nobody there to really kind of oversee it. Somebody's going to have to kind of step in and fill in on top of their normal duties, on top of what they're already doing and what they're already obligated to do. And it, in a sense, breaks my heart because it puts this club, this youth club, right back where they were before I stepped in. And it's kind of like a punch in the gut, if you will, because the whole reason, and I can kind of run through very quickly like what this all looked like, but the whole reason I even stepped into this role was so that they would have somebody at the branch, somebody to kind of give them a voice, help them with what they want to do, what they want to accomplish, and somebody there just to kind of, even if it just meant like figuring this out together with them. And now I feel like they're right back where they started before I stepped in, and it kind of just almost washes away the work that I put into the club. And it bothers me a little bit. Um, Again, when I first applied, I did it really as a favor to my supervisors and my executive at the time. And as I looked at it, I realized, like, not only would this be great for me, but these teens do not have anybody to represent them. And they need somebody to be, in a sense, like, advocating for them every day. So when my phone interview, which went miserably, failed, I decided after a few weeks of realizing like, hey, this position is not being, you know, isn't being filled out. Um, and it was crazy. Like to give a little background into that, like this was a time when I feel like our HR department was like struggling to fill not only multiple positions, just a lot. Like at our branch, at other branches, like, there was just a lot going on. So they were struggling to do that, and as weeks and months are passing by, I think like almost like 2 months maybe was coming up where we still didn't have anybody. Um, I decided to reach out again and say, hey, look, I know you guys are busy. I know you got a lot going on, but I really want to, make my case again um, for this position. And it actually got me a face to face. And I thought, like, my phone interview did not go well. Um, I wasn't really, I'm not going to say prepared, but I really just didn't have enough experience with something like that. And, talking with like my supervisors and stuff as I was, still in the department that I was before I moved into like the youth stuff. And they were kind of helping me and coaching me through like what some of this like interview process could look like, and just really working with me to get me ready for the next step. And so when I talked my way into basically a face-to-face, I was a bit more prepared and actually was able to land the job. And before I found out, this interview I believe was like on a Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. I found out on a Friday afternoon, and I was actually working out, and was talking with a friend of mine and just kind of going over some things and talking about the job, and how great it would be and full time and blah blah blah, and and it was at that moment when um, I actually had said to them, really, if I don't get it, that's fine, I understand, but really I just hope somebody gets it, because it's been too long and these kids need somebody. And that was really the heart of it, like the up and down, the back and forth, all of it. Like, you know, just want somebody there for them, man. I just want somebody to help them and listen to them, and make sure they got a space every every Friday night, or every Thursday whatever, or every Monday evening for this or that, or just whatever they're doing, and just having a space and a place and all that. And so like um that was my whole goal, and it worked. Like, again, like as we were going through it, a lot of people were starting to recognize who we were and what we were doing, and like, oh, there's a club here, and like people didn't even had no idea. People had no idea what we did. And so um, what we were doing was working. It was the club was growing. Um, the kids were connecting with me. They were identifying with me. The relationships with the parents were getting strong, uh, and that wasn't the case before. So, even parents would say like, "Oh gosh, this is so much better than last year. This is, my kid's been going to club now for 3, 4 years or whatever, and this is better than it's been in a long time." And you know that it meant a lot. It felt good. So to get that news and to know that like they are now, like I said, back, and there's not much I can do. I guess people are wondering too, like, well, are you going to jump back in this? Is this something you're going to like, oh, well, now that it's open, well, that's just not that easy. It's not like, oh, it's open, let me just step back in. Um, One, you have to consider that when they looked at the original people for this, I wasn't considered among them. Like, I wasn't somebody they looked at and was like, oh yeah, like this, I think he'll be okay. Um, Two, I made a commitment, of course, to the youth and stuff, but like it wasn't a commitment that I broke on my own. It was kind of something that was, you know, pulled pulled from me in a sense, if you will. So it wasn't like I stepped away and was like, okay, you know, because I literally stepped away um, on my terms. You know, it was, like I said, kind of taken from me in a sense, and then luckily there was another position already waiting for me. To now, after I've now made this commitment to my new department, to then turn around and say, hey, no, okay, I'm going to walk away now because now this is back open. That's not fair. And then what's to say, as I then decide, hey, let me, um, you know, turn my back on my new place, my new department, as we're trying to get this up and running and get this situated, that, you know, things don't change with that again. And then, you know, this new position that I have now might not be open again in the future. You know, it's one of those things where it was kind of the same when I was
All cool here.
making the. I
Working really hard.
bet you are, buddy.
Responsibility, blah, blah, fucking blah.
Oh,
Thank you.
dude, the language, buddy. Um, let me go back up here and finish this because this guy's going to be like overshadowing everything what I was saying right here. But it's kind of like when I was making the transition from my last job into this, I had the option of like maybe working like part time at a restaurant and maybe doing this part time. And I said, no, I got to commit to one or the other. And I invested into this place that I'm at now, and it paid off. So I just think it'd be like really wishy-washy of me to be like, oh, well, now that this is open, see you guys. Especially considering that this was a position that they kind of, I'm not going to say built for me, but they definitely designed it for people of my skill set and saw value in me for this. So for me to now step back into the teen realm, I don't know. That just as much as I love working with the youth and stuff, it would just feel really wishy-washy. Be like, okay, well, just, you know, sorry guys, and then just way too much back and, you know, way too much back and forth. Um, but not to mention, you know, um, the person who we had and quit. That was one of the reasons. Was it's a heavy workload, and you know, I was barely hanging on with one location, let alone trying to struggle with, you know, two or three or four or whatever that might even look like. Um, but yeah, just kind of wanted to give some insight into some of that and what some of that's looked like, and just try to catch you up and keep you caught up as we um, go through all this just you know, transitions and what all that kind of looks like, and um, just it's just very interesting, and um, like I said, not at all what I was expecting um, this soon. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day. Hope you had a great weekend. I'm gonna go ahead and hop off of here, hit you guys with some more videos here in a little bit. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. And if you've been watching other videos related to this and are kind of wondering, like, you know, where this is all going, this is where it's going. I'll let you know where it continues to go. And until then, guys, please take care of yourself. Please take care of each other. And of course, don't spend that quarter anywhere else. See ya.